Nobody saw it coming, but now it's all anyone can talk about. Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris have been dropped from Love and Hip Hop completely. After years of intense drama, shocking storylines, and endless headlines, their time on the show has abruptly come to an end. So, what really went down? Insiders say it started with a huge backstage brawl that spiraled out of control fast. Security rushed in but couldn't stop the chaos. Cameras kept rolling, and what happened may have ended both men's run on reality TV for good. No more on-screen moments, no more reunion confessions, just a sudden, harsh end they didn't see coming. But the fight wasn't the only issue. People close to production claim there were deeper problems brewing, rumors of betrayal, secret agendas, and long-standing tension that had been building for months. Things between Kirk and Mendeecees had been getting worse for weeks. What started as harmless teasing turned into personal attacks that threatened both of their reputations. The blow-up happened during a private meeting meant to settle disputes before the reunion taping. There were no cameras, no audience, just the cast and producers hoping to clear the air. But when you mix big egos, old grudges, and a history of drama, peace talks rarely stay calm. Kirk and Mendeecees were never close friends, but there used to be mutual respect. That changed when rumors started circulating that Mendeecees had been bad-mouthing Kirk, calling him irrelevant, and saying he was only on the show because of Rashida's success. At first, Kirk brushed it off. It's reality TV after all, people talk. But when several castmates claimed Mendeecees was telling producers that Kirk was faking drama to stay on the show, Kirk couldn't ignore it anymore. Accusations flew. According to witnesses, Mendeecees claimed Kirk was dragging up old scandals just to stay relevant, even suggesting he was a liability to the show. Kirk fired back, saying he was the reason fans still tuned in. Hoping to settle things privately, Kirk confronted Mendeecees before filming. But instead of smoothing things over, it only made things worse. Mendeecees reportedly told him, "If you're that bothered, fix your own mess," in a tone that came off smug and dismissive. That was the breaking point. What began as a tense conversation exploded into shouting. Producers froze as the argument escalated. Kirk yelled, "You were a guest. I built this show." Mendeecees laughed in his face, and Kirk snapped, shoving him hard. Within seconds, fists were flying. Furniture was knocked over, glass shattered, and the room descended into chaos. Security rushed in, pulling them apart. Yendi screamed for Mendeecees to stop, while Rashida tried to hold Kirk back. Someone had already started filming on their phone, and by the time the fight turned violent, the footage was spreading online. Social media lit up with shock and disbelief. The production team scrambled to contain the damage. This wasn't normal TV drama. It was ugly, raw, and dangerous. The leaked video made it even worse, with sponsors already calling, worried about being linked to the mess. Production shut down immediately. The fight crossed every line, raising serious safety concerns. By the next morning, executives made their decision. Both Kirk Frost and Mendeecees Harris were fired from Love and Hip Hop. No second chances, no farewell scenes. They were gone. Kirk was in disbelief. "This can't be real," he reportedly told friends, pacing around his house. "They've never done this before. They need me. I've been here since day one." But Rashida told him straight, "You put your hands on him, and it got out." They had no choice. Mendeecees didn't take it well either. When he got the call while sitting at home with Yendi, he was stunned. "No, they can't just do that," he said. Yendi was furious, pointing out that they'd given the show some of its biggest moments. Their relationship, his prison time, their family struggles, but none of that mattered anymore. Blogs jumped on the story, and other cast members started weighing in. Soon the question became bigger than just one fight. Was this the end of their reality TV careers altogether? Industry insiders said other networks were hesitant to touch them now, fearing another meltdown. Spin-offs were quietly scrapped, and potential deals put on hold. Producers didn't want to take the risk. For Mendeecees, it was a bitter pill to swallow. Losing Love and Hip Hop wasn't just losing a paycheck. It felt like losing part of his life. He had shared so much of his real story with viewers, only for it all to be erased in a single night. But he wasn't ready to stay silent. Going live on Instagram, he opened up emotionally. "I've been through so much. Court cases, being away from my family, and I always stood tall. This is just another challenge. I don't regret defending myself. Respect is everything. And I won't let anyone disrespect me, on or off screen. Yandy sat beside him, calm but clearly upset. She'd been in this business long enough to know you take the hits and find a way to come back stronger. This ain't the end for Mendeecees, she promised their fans. We've been through worse, and we'll rise again. Still, once the cameras were off, the reality set in. For both Kirk and Mendeecees, this wasn't just losing a role on a show, it was losing a piece of the lives they'd built for years. Everything they had put into Love and Hip Hop was gone in an instant, and neither knew if they'd ever get it back. Late one night, weighed down by uncertainty, Mendeecees admitted to Yandy, "I don't know how we bounce back from this. The show kept us going. Without it, what's left?" But Yandy wasn't the type to sit in defeat. "We'll figure it out," she reassured him. "People love us for who we are, not just for being on TV. We're not done, yet." Then, things took an even darker turn. Rumors began spreading that it wasn't just a firing. They were being blacklisted from reality TV altogether. At first, they thought it was just gossip, but the whispers grew louder. Insiders across multiple networks confirmed that no one wanted to give them another shot. "It's not just about the fight," one source explained. "This wasn't typical drama. It went too far, and no network wants lawsuits or that kind of chaos on set." For Kirk, that news hit hard. Losing Love and Hip Hop was one thing, but being shut out of the whole industry felt like watching everything he had built disappear overnight. Reality TV wasn't just fame, it kept his brand alive, fueled his businesses, and gave him influence. Without it, he feared he'd fade away completely. "They think they can erase me?" he told Rashida, frustration etched in his face. "I made this work. I built something real." She stayed calm, promising they'd find a way forward. But deep down, Kirk knew staying relevant without the cameras would be a struggle. Mendeecees was feeling the pressure too. His phone barely rang anymore. Brand deals disappeared, and his social media numbers started to dip. It was like the industry had slammed the door shut. "We need to move fast," he told Yandy. "I can't go out like this." Yandy was already plotting their next move. "If they won't put us on TV, we'll make our own. We have the followers, the platform, let's use them." But they both knew breaking free from a blacklist wouldn't be easy. Days turned into weeks, and the silence from producers was deafening. The same networks that once couldn't get enough of them now wanted nothing to do with their names. No cameras, no interviews, no paychecks. It was as if they'd been erased from the very world they helped shape. They had bounced back from scandals before, but this felt different. This wasn't gossip or bad press. This was exile. Kirk started calling old contacts, hoping someone would take a chance on him. He had friends in the industry, people he'd worked with for years. But every conversation ended the same way. "I wish I could help," one producer said. "But the network doesn't want that kind of heat. That fight crossed a line." Kirk's reputation had shifted from star power to liability overnight. People weren't just seeing a reality star who made a mistake. They saw someone unpredictable, unstable, and not worth the risk. Rashida saw the change in him immediately. The confident man, who once commanded every room, now paced endlessly, waiting for opportunities that weren't coming. She reminded him of their other ventures, the bistro, the clothing stores. But Kirk just shook his head. "That's not it," he said. "This is what we do. This is who I am. Without this, how do we stay on top?" She didn't have an answer. Meanwhile, Yandy refused to give up on Mendeecees. She started reaching out to smaller streaming services, independent producers, even digital platforms. "We don't need VH1, she told him. "We'll take our story to YouTube, Zeus, Tubi, wherever. Nobody can stop us from telling it." Mendeecees wanted to believe her, but doubt lingered. "If we're not on TV, will people even care?" he asked quietly. Yandy looked him in the eye. "They will. We'll give them something they can't ignore." While they plotted their next steps, public opinion was split. Some fans were outraged, saying the network owed them more after all they'd given the show. "They made Love and Hip Hop what it is," one person tweeted. Now they're tossed aside like they never mattered? That's wrong. Others weren't sympathetic. They fought on set, a fan replied. What did they expect? Actions have consequences. Even former cast members weighed in. Stevie J said bluntly, there's a line you don't cross. They crossed it. But others called out the hypocrisy. They push us to act out for ratings, one ex-castmate said on a podcast. But when it gets too real, suddenly it's too much? That's fake. Despite the debates, the network didn't budge. Kirk and Mendeecees were out for good, and no one wanted to take a risk on them. That's when Kirk decided to try a different approach, a legal one. He wasn't ready to be erased from the world he helped build. If the network wanted to shut him out, they weren't going to do it quietly. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update.